Okay, I've started.
Welcome everybody to the Admin, Finance and Staffing Committee meeting of Settle Town Council to be held virtually on Monday the 7th of December at 8 o'clock. Public and press are invited and there's push to participation, but there aren't any here. So I'm just going to deviate from the agenda slightly. So just basically we need to elect a chair. There is no deputy for this committee, is there, Rebecca?
No, there isn't. We never got to that.
Okay, well, I'm just going to suggest I'm happy to chair the meeting. If everyone's happy with that, can you just give it a yes in the chat? One more of you, please.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I can't type it in at the minute, but yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. Okay, so agenda item number 1, apologies. To receive and approve reasons for apologies.
We've got Councillor Catherwood and Councillor Harrison.
Okay, brilliant. So then we'll move on to code of conduct, localism. To record any councillor's disclosable pecuniary interests in relation times on this agenda. Does anybody have any interest they'd like to declare at this moment?
No.
Perfect. We'll move on then. 3, to approve an allowance of £250 for a one-off IT support for staff to resolve set-up and urgent current issues relating to Microsoft Office 365.
Yeah, so having gone through the process of renaming and deleting duplicate files, etc. I haven't been able to get onto the NAS since we moved from the other office into here. And I was supposed to be doing a backup to that, which was agreed, I think, last meeting or whenever this was raised before. And both Katie and I have both tried to work out why it's not working correctly and can't. I think we need somebody to come in and just look at the way we've set it up and how that works. Somebody who has more experience and expertise than I, and I mean, I'm not an IT person. And also, I know in the past we've relied on councillors helping out. However, I don't think that's the solution. I think we need to pay for somebody to come in and do it.
Okay, so where's the quote from?
So it was one of the companies that we got a quote from last time, and they were all very similar. It was the guy up in Leyburn. Don't know if you remember. There were 3 quotes. There was Prison who didn't come back to us. There was a guy, I can't remember the name of it now, and this chap in Leyburn who actually came, when he came to give the quote, came in, sat with me, went through quite a lot of stuff, and he was saying, yeah, you need, that was when we needed the other account, the separate deputy account, which we did. And he said he would be able to come and sort it out. And he seemed to be quite reasonable, I would say, but it depends how much. It might not be that much. It's just that was what he said it would take to sort out setup, and probably about a day's work, I think, or a day and a half.
All right, well, I've got no objection to that. I ain't got the time to look at it at the moment, so I'd be happy to support it up to £250.
Yeah.
£250 for a day rate is strong, but
it might that be me might getting it wrong, Dan, but that's the figure that I looked back on. It was to sort out, but I think it was to set up something. This was before. We've set something else up anyway as well, so it might be a lot less.
That's fine. I got no objection. Anybody else got any objection?
No.
No. All those in favour, give it a yes in the chat, please.
Okay.
Fantastic. That's 4. So we'll move on. Agenda item number 4. To receive notice of the conclusion of the external audit for 2019-20.
Yep. So we got that through on the 30th of November, which was the last possible day that they had to respond by. I did have to amend, I had some queries on it from the external auditor, which I'd sent through and amended. I mean, the accounts balanced, the start and the end figures fine. What was different was the way that was the what do you call it, section 2 on the accounting statements. The total other costs was more than I'd put on that, and it was, I think what happened is we had to redo it. I put it onto the significant variances, but not amended section 2. Anyway, after to and fro and extra information, he was happy with it. So I've amended it and signed it, and they've accepted it. I'll reissue it to people, and it will be put on the website. Well, no, actually, it is on the website as reissued. We had to put the notice up straight away that day I got the email, because that was the last day we could put up that the audit was concluded. And we've got a couple of comments from the external auditor, and one of them I don't really understand. It's something to do with the notice that we put up so that people could come and review and look at the accounts, and he was saying that it was less than 30 consecutive working days in length. So I assume basically when I put the notice up, I didn't calculate the dates correctly. So it's not anything that we're in bother for, but they've made a note of it on the and then the bit about we've had to amend the submission, but they're fine with it now. So basically it's all okay, but they've made some comments, but we don't have to do anything.
Okay, brilliant. Anybody got any questions with regards to that?
Fine.
Perfect. So we'll move on. Agenda item 5, budget 2021-22 to review the third draft of the budget and set the precept. Is it worth starting this section off with the letter from the swimming pool, Rebecca?
Yeah, can do. Yes. So that was circulated. I mean, it only came in today. So this is from the chair of Settle Swimming Pool. For those who didn't get the email, they've talked about the 1% precept support. It's actually 2% we pay them. So it says, I understand as part of the savings exercise, the Town Council is considering stopping the precept grant towards the running of the swimming pool. While the trustees of Settle Pool fully understand the implications of a double lockdown on income such as the market, the loss of a grant of around 2,200 will have a big impact on the pool, which has also been through 2 lockdowns with only furlough payments during those periods. Almost 200 of the 600 regular users of the pool, excluding children's swimming lessons, live in Settle, and the proposed reduction will force the trustees to review prices, which will affect senior citizens who make up a large percentage of the regular users. As you know, the pool is subsidised by the volunteers who run the charity shop, but the contribution from the Town Council is a strong commitment to supporting the pool. The Council will be aware it's about to be refurbished at a cost of £650,000, and we did not ask the Council to contribute towards this cost, as we appreciate the 1% you already contribute toward the pool. We anticipate that once the pool has been refurbished, the pool will be self-funding by 2023. In anticipation of this, the trustees request that the Town Council consider retaining the 1% allocation for 2021-22 and then reduce this to 0.5% for 2022-23 and then stop the grant in 23.
Well, I mean, I'm going to say something on this. Anybody who's been in council long enough will know that I am generally against this policy against the swimming pool 2% anyway. Nothing against the swimming pool. I like the swimming pool a lot, but of everybody that was canvassed for this percentage of the precept to go to the swimming pool, we were the only parish from Gargrave to Ingleton that actually did it. So I think that we've agreed we need to cut costs to stop any big increases in the precept. And I just think we should stick to what we've said. Anybody else want to offer an opinion on that?
Yeah, I agree with you, Dan, really, because I think, as they've stated themselves, only 200 people out of everybody that uses it as Settle residents. And I think if we've agreed for the following year not to do grants, then we can't start making exceptions to it. Otherwise, we might as well have the grants open again with reduced monies.
David, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, I think because of everything that's gone on over the past 9 months with the COVID, everybody's lost revenue, and to suddenly have the grant funding withheld, I think it might cause a few problems. Instead of giving them the 2% over the next 2 years, I suggest we just give them 1% over 2 years. At least it gives them that time to recoup after the COVID situation is finished. I wouldn't like it to just drop off. I don't know how that would really affect them.
It did just jump on though, David.
Pardon?
It did just jump on. It wasn't a gradual increase. It did just get 2%. So
yeah, but if we just relax it to in fact 1% and then stage it to 0.5%, do it that way, at least it gives them some income coming in at this hard time.
Okay.
But that's only my view. But
That's one on the table. Charlotte, did you want to say something?
You're on mute, Charlotte.
Sorry. I was going to just say the same thing as there's nothing we can offer at all, because I think there might be a bit of a backlash if we don't offer anything at all, not the full 2%. Or is there any way we can do anything that subsidises settled people using the pool, not outsiders or anything?
I think it's an all or nothing kind of approach. But the reasoning behind removing that was because we have elected not to have any grant funding for the next year in order to keep the precept as low as possible. If we fund the swimming pool, it's worth pointing out that we're essentially subsidising the swimming pool for less than, I think now, be like 1% of the population uses a swimming pool.
Yeah.
On that basis. So do we justify increasing the precept for everybody to subsidise it for 1%? No, hang on, sorry, 0.5% of the population of Settle is the question that I would ask. But it's up to councillors. My proposal is that we do as agreed and do not offer any grant funding for the next 12 months, including the swimming pool.
I would agree with that, Dan.
If anybody else wants to make a proposal, we can take a vote on it. I'm happy to do that. David, if someone wants to second David, then we'll put both to a vote. Like, I've got no objection to that.
What?
Well, my proposal, David, is that we don't fund anybody as part of the precept for the next year, because that's what we've budgeted for, isn't it, Rebecca?
Yeah.
We're taking it out. Yeah.
We're taking it out.
Yeah, I can understand that we have to cut back. I can understand that. But the pool is an important part of Settle or Gig, wherever you want to place it.
It is a Giggleswick.
And I think just to cut it, I don't feel right about that. I would sooner we gave something than nothing. Just to help them get over these hard times. All the shops are feeling it as well. Okay, well, we can't do the shops, but we could perhaps do the pool. But I'll go with the majority.
I mean, David, have you any other suggestions where we could shave money off in order to? Could we go for cheaper Christmas lights next year?
Oh, Robert. Out of the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah.
Life is all about choices, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all down to choices, Robert.
So so the Christmas lights switch on event. So this year, it's cost us 2,260 just to put the lights up on the tree, and that's in the town. If we do an event, it's we've budgeted for 5,000, but it doesn't have to cost 5,000.
Does the 5,000 include the reindeer, who seem to be very expensive?
I think it did.
So, I mean, the reindeer are 1,000.
Reindeer.
Yeah.
So on top of, so for the event, I'm trying to think what else we'd pay out for the event.
Road closures.
Yeah, road closures, yeah.
So 2,500. Not included the tree.
Fireworks. Oh no.
Yeah, we usually get a grant of £1,000 for that, so that's not including the fireworks.
True. Don't
So
forget the
we've
bad
got
vehicles.
£2,500 to spend on an event, and the fireworks are paid for. I'm trying to think what all the other costs are. So a road closure, well, that's only like 90 quid.
They found a way to spend it last year, Rebecca, I'm sure.
No, we didn't spend it all.
We had the
You did
rain
it?
day last year, didn't we?
The rain day was like nearly 900 quid. Oh, we had the two characters. We had Buzz Lightyear and what's his face?
Woody.
Woody. And that
So can I make another proposal then? Dan, I can never remember how you do these things.
Well, I'll retract mine if you want to make another proposal, Robert.
Well, I suppose my proposal is that we pay a precept, or we pay a grant, or whatever you want to call it, as a precept, a grant which is 1% of our precept, which I suppose is what we're doing, isn't it? And that we reduce the expenditure on the Christmas lights and switch on event by whatever that will be, £1,070, or 1,000 if you want to round it down.
And are you suggesting that the next year we reduce it to 0.5%?
Could do, yeah. So
Yes.
a sliding scale,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So basically 1% this year, 0.5% next year, and we recoup that money in the budget from the Christmas lights and switch on event.
Okay. Somebody want to second Robert's proposal? Debbie, you had your hand up actually, and Peter. Let's just let them quickly jump in.
Yeah, thank you. I think Peter's got his hand up as well, actually.
He does his next.
Yeah, okay. I'm actually against funding this because I think as a council we've said no grants next year, then I think that's what we ought to stick to. If we then say no grants, but we'll let the swimming pool have some money, how do we justify that if other people approach us for money? Because I appreciate times are difficult for everybody, but there's going to be a lot of people in the same position as the swimming pool. And I do feel that the small percentage of settled residents that are using it doesn't justify asking everyone else to pay that little bit more. And I think pinching it from the Christmas lights, which does pretty much everybody in the town does see those, does enjoy them. I would find it quite difficult to justify a smaller Christmas light switch on because we've given a little bit of money to the swimming pool. So I'm actually against this.
Okay, Peter, do you want to speak? You are muted, just so you know.
Sorry, I'm on dangerous ground because my wife uses the pool. But I agree with Debbie that if we're going to have grants, we need to have grants for everybody that's applied to grants. And if we've made a decision and everybody's been told there are no grants for next year, I think we should stick to it.
Okay. Robert?
Just as a counter argument to that, and don't entirely disagree with it, but a counter, the grants, so if you think about the grants, the 5,600, those are one-off sums given to organisations which they apply to each year. The pool is slightly different in that we've paid that amount for several or a number of years. So therefore it hasn't been a one-off grant. It has been a precept. I mean, I use the word grant, but in practice, we paid a precept supplement. So I think it is a slightly different thing in that the grant people who normally apply for grants won't necessarily have factored anything in for this year. The issue perhaps potentially with the pool is that they've assumed they're getting the 2% and have budgeted around that. So there's a slight difference in my view.
It is worth pointing out, though, that since the town council started providing that monies to the pool, they've opened that shop, and I know it's not been open for most of the year, but in the last year, I've been reliably informed by a member of the committee that it earned something like £21,000 in 6 months.
No, it was been very successful, much more so than the paper, because obviously the price of paper has fallen dramatically.
So that's it. So I mean. If somebody wants to second Robert's proposal, we can take a vote on it. But then I am going to propose that we don't fund the swimming pool. So, somebody want to second Robert?
Oh dear.
Okay. Okay. So David seconds it. So we'll put it to a vote. All those in favour say yes to the chat. Okay. All right, we're past then. So Robert's proposal is that we fund it by 1% and then by 0.5% in the following year, and that is passed.
All right.
Thank you, Robert.
And then by 0.5%.
1% this year.
Half, then naught.
And then, and I'm knocking off the amount, whatever that is, off the Christmas lights budget, which is just over 1,000 or whatever it is. Yeah.
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah, I've got that. So I'll redraft that for the 21st of December for circulation, and then we can finalise it. Well,
When do we submit it, Rebecca? When do we have to?
so they like to have. Tell you, they give us a date in January, but you actually don't need to do it till the 28th of Feb. So they like it back 15th of Jan. So our meeting is the 11th. So we've got December's meeting and January's to still just tweak it if we want.
So by then we would have the January CPI data, wouldn't we? For the February meeting.
What date?
Yeah. The consumer price index.
All right. Okay.
Okay. So now we just need to talk. Do you want to run us through the precept, Rebecca? Oh, we just want. Is it circulated? Sorry, I haven't seen it.
Say that again. All right. So the precept would have been 108, wouldn't it? Just a minute. And we are now going to knock.
It's not changing. The total amount.
It's not changing. Sorry, no, of course it's not. Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, that's it really. We have to just submit that figure. When I redraft it, I'll circulate it, approve it on the 21st. If you want to look at it again, you've got a chance on the 21st, and then we've got the 11th of Jan if something else crops up in between. But I'll be putting that out there for consultation as we agreed we would do this time.
Okay.
So that's it. Yeah.
So, unless somebody's got any questions, we'll move on to agenda item 6, review and update representatives on outside organisations.
So this list has been a little bit sparse, and well, not sparse, but it's. Sorry, Katie, do you want to introduce it?
No, it's
You
fine.
wrote it.
Go ahead.
I've asked Katie to do this mainly because I had a list which mainly seemed to have Councillor Belfield, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Balsamini, and I think we had.
Oh, let me just grab. I'll grab that letter I was telling you about, Rebecca. Actually.
Yeah. So this is for outside bodies. We've got Settle Aid in Sickness, Foster and Poor Cloves, Swimming Pool Committee, Chamber of Trade, Vic Hall, YLCA, the Area Freight Quality Partnership, the Library, the North Yorkshire Area Committee, and Craven Community Land Trust. Some councils are doing quite a few of these outside bodies. Now that we are full complement, we should have other councillors attending other meetings so that it's not all on one or two, and then you can report back to those. Because we've had Councillor Desborough, Councillor Reimer left.
I'm still here.
Sorry, not sorry, Debbie. James.
Freudian slip there, Rebecca.
Oops. Sorry, I think it's because I just read your name on this list. Popped into my head. So we do need to spread it out a bit, really. Otherwise, it's quite onerous on some councils, and also it's of interest to other councils. They can get a flavour of what other outside bodies do.
Mm-hmm. So what's the list? Sorry.
So the list is, so it's the report that was sent out. It's the first one is Settle Aid in Sickness, and we've got Robert, David and Joe. Now they are nominated on this one. and it's the one that's going to take over the money for settle relief in need.
Yeah, that has now finished. Yeah.
So if you want to remain on that, that's fine. If somebody's interested in going on that, we could swap with somebody.
I mean, the aim, we put a few of us on, if you remember, to try and ginger it up a bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was kind of died the death, as it were, and our aim was to try and revitalise it a bit and get them to shove the money out.
And has any of that happened? Have they had any?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I mean, I saw. Did you see them, David? I saw the accounts
Yes, I did.
this time, and the last couple of years, the money has been,
Okay.
the income has been given away. So I suppose our aim has been achieved. But I think the position they were in is that the, number of people turning up to meetings was declining, so it was all getting a bit stalemated.
Okay.
Okay.
So, do you want to remain on that for the moment till such time as the monies are transferred from the other one, the whatever it is, the relief in need, because the monies haven't been transferred yet, have they?
So I'm just trying to get everybody together to go down to the bank and sort it out. There's £3,000 in the bank account, and there's something like £800 held in cash as well.
So who's to go with you, David?
There'll be Busty Maud,
Right.
yourself, being clerk at council, and whoever else wants to go, really, and the vicar wants to come as well.
Okay. So do you want me to organise that?
If you could do, then we can get it.
Obviously Ron won't respond to an email, but if you can drop a note through his door.
To him, yeah.
Right. But if I email you, Julie, and set a date up.
Yes.
It's at the Barclays Bank. So can you go into Barclays at the minute? Of course you can.
Pardon?
So we need to go into Barclays and set up and get an appointment with them.
Yes, to actually close the bank account and transfer.
Right. I'll get in touch with the bank, get a date and send it out to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. So you'll remain on. So Foster and
Yeah,
Paul, Councillor Harrison. Is anybody interested in doing that as well as as a deputy for Councillor Harrison? I think he only meets once a year.
Mm.
No. Right. Swimming pool committee. So Robert, you're on this one as well as Chamber of Trade.
Yeah, but all you do is you can't go to the committee.
No.
All I did was go to the AGM.
Oh right, so that's only once a year. So you're happy to stay on that?
Yeah, unless anybody's got a particular
Okay.
desire. No, I did attend the AGM, obviously on Zoom this year.
Right. Okay. And your deputy, David, are you happy to stay on?
Yes, why not?
Okay.
Next
So
one.
we've got Chamber of Trade. We've got again Robert and David. Is anybody particularly interested in?
No,
I thought Dan was the Chamber of Trade.
I am the
Oh,
representative.
yeah,
of
but this
Chamber of
didn't
Trade.
say that.
I
Oh,
thought it was Dan and myself on that.
It is.
Oh, it is. Hang on a minute. Yeah, it is. Sorry.
Not that it matters because they haven't met for
Well,
Yeah.
no.
But
March.
they'll soon be meeting.
Okay,
hopefully.
so it's. I'll change that then. So that's Dan and David.
And
Thank you.
I'm happy to stay that way. David is too, I'm assuming.
Right.
Yes,
Given-
fine.
so we've got Councillor Harrison on Vic Hall Limited. Given that he's not able to attend meetings at the moment either, does somebody want to be involved in setting up Vic Hall?
I'd like to do that.
Right.
Good.
So do you want to, I'll let you take over then, Dan, if you're going to do a
Yeah.
vote.
Well, sorry, just to check, are we keeping Jenny on there as well?
Well, she's not here. I'm assuming we'll leave her on unless she wants to come off.
Okay. Well, in which case then, so to the vote is to approve Councillor Rockcliffe becoming the lead on the Victoria Hall Limited as a representative for the council. Well, that was keen. I didn't even say yes in the chat if you were there.
Quick, volunteer, give it to her. What I'll do, Charlotte, is I will email Victoria Hall and tell them that you're the new rep and to let us know when their meetings are.
Yeah, cool.
Right, I'm just gonna
Hall.
flick through these really quickly because YLCA.
Jenny can never go to it, Dan, and neither can Joe as substitute. We need somebody for the YLCA who can go to meetings during the day or a Saturday morning.
Okay, any volunteers, folks?
And it's a good one, to be honest, that I think.
I used to go.
You're on enough, David.
Yeah, calm
Just
down.
saying, I used to go. So
Any
quite
new,
interesting.
any
No,
new
Robert, you
ones?
keep your hand down too. You go to enough stuff. Anybody else fancy it?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Peter.
Peter's happy to go. Fantastic. So Peter's doing that. We'll vote on these en masse at the end rather than just
Yeah.
doing them one by one. Freight Quality Partnership, I'd recommend we leave with Rafe because Rafe's pretty active at chasing that down, even though
Yeah.
they barely meet.
Yeah.
Settle Community Library is Debbie and Joe. You have
I
to
think-
continue.
I am, but I think we should take Joe off because meetings are generally on a Friday morning and Joe's at school. So I think either have somebody else, if anybody's interested, or obviously I'll continue.
Okay. Anybody else fancy it? David, aren't you involved already?
He's a
I'm
trustee.
part of the management team. Yeah.
Okay, so you can't do it.
No.
Anybody else free on a Friday morning who fancies being involved with the library?
I would be interested in doing that actually.
Tim?
Good.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so Debbie and Tim for that. Constituency Area Committee is me and David. It hasn't met in person for a long
No, it
time.
hasn't.
Have they
So
not met virtually yet?
I think there was one. I wasn't able to attend. I think you attended, didn't you, David?
Which one?
The Constituency Area Committee.
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, I'm happy to stay on that.
Okay. I think that's going to be quite an interesting one going forward.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, and then the CLT, Craven Community Land Trust. Joe is obviously a member in his personal capacity. David, you're the
Trustee.
representative of the council.
Yeah.
Do you want to continue doing that?
Yes, please. Quite interested in that. Yeah.
Okay, and then I received a letter. I've been it's from Craven District Council. Says the Council Standards Committee recently held its first meeting of the municipal year, and at which the Standards Committee considered a report about parish representatives on the committee. I'm very pleased to inform you that the committee resolved to propose to the council that you are appointed as a parish representative, and the next council meeting is scheduled to take place on Tuesday, the 15th of December, and hopefully should be in a position to formally confirm my appointment the following day. So I was nominated for this a long time ago.
Well done, Joe. Damn.
So it says, thank you for your patience. It's been some time since the ballot closed. So, yeah, I've been nominated to serve on the Standards
You have,
Committee.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, I can add that in then.
yeah, that's not something that the council can nominate. I don't think I can be replaced in that respect, but it's because it's a Craven District Committee. But
Yeah.
okay, so is everyone happy with the amendments to the list then? All those in favour, just give a yes in the chat. Brilliant, that's passed. Right, folks, let me find my agenda again. Clicked off of it. Here we go. That's passed. Agenda item 7, correspondence to receive and respond to any correspondence received prior to the meeting.
Oh, I'm just
Anything,
double
Rebecca?
checking. Do a thing that we've had. I don't think there's any other correspondence that relates to this meeting that I've had,
Okay,
unless anybody's had anything.
perfect. And then agenda item 8 then, receive items of information from the clerk or councillors and future agenda items. Does anybody have any future agenda items specifically related to admin, finance or staffing? Or for the main meeting in January?
There'll probably be some stuff coming up, either at full council or this meeting, about the assistant clerk's membership of SLCC and also some training, because I would like to get Katie started on the ILCA, the Introduction to Local Council Administration, which is level 2, which is a precursor for the SILCA.
Sounds good.
She's already tomorrow doing the what's it called, the Introduction to New Clerks, something like that. That's with the YLCA. So there's a couple of bits. There'll be a bit of staff training and staffing stuff to do.
We have budgeted for that last year, did we? Rebecca?
Sorry?
We budgeted for that last year. Have we? We budgeted. Have we got a training budget?
We've
still?
got a reasonably healthy training budget, but given that obviously they've not been doing the usual evening training in the middle of the work somewhere. So it's a lot cheaper this year. So we've saved quite a bit of money on training, the training budget.
Beautiful. Speaking of which, have any of our new councillors been offered the opportunity to attend any training courses?
Yeah, so I think Councillor Oliver did cemetery compliance. Is that right?
Oh, that sounds riveting.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so of the new councillors, have any of you done the new councillor training from YLCA yet?
No?
Right, so you all need to be put on that one then. So new
There you
councillor
go.
training for Councillor Oliver Yates and Rockcliffe. And I'm assuming they're doing those virtually, so it should be easier than normal. You don't have to travel over the side of North Yorkshire.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah, so I'll find out when. I mean, I've sent round the training thing that comes through. But what I'll do is I'll point out and get you and ask you which dates you can do, and then book you on it. Or it might be one where you register yourself. I'm not sure. They seem to be sending it out so you can register yourself. I did send an email out with if you want to log on to YLCA, you put parish at YLCA or something, and then there's a password which I sent round. If you can't find it, you lost it, just give me a shout and I'll send it round again.
All right, folks. So nobody's got any agenda items they fancy? Brilliant. We'll move on to 9. Date of the next meeting of the Admin, Finance and Staffing Committee is 22nd of February 2021. And with that, meeting's closed. Thank you very much, everybody,
That's
for their attendance.
2038. Right, stop recording. Just says. I'm in our position. Just like lost my mouse.